Hi there, welcome to I Long Fly Tarot. I'm going to do a tarot card reading for Taurus energy, and we're going to read it from a couple different perspectives because people have free will. Some people harness a high vibe Taurus energy, some people harness a more worldly focused Taurus energy, and some people harness a more shadowy one, and it's anywhere on the spectrum. We just need to listen to our intuition. Taurus energy is earth sign energy. It's fixed sign energy. It's kind of the energy that we can tap into when we're in a job or a relationship or a friendship. We're already in it. Can really come into play, and it can be hard to transition out of things because it is a fixed sign energy. It also has Taurus energy also has to do with our philosophy of life. You know, we've all got this dualistic nature, and we have to debate within ourselves what our truth is. Should I live my life like this? Should I live my life like that? Do I like this? Do I not like that? Is this good, right, wrong? You know, Taurus energy is like the Supreme Court in our own head. The laws of the land for each person. So when we see some people in the world who are prideful or bossy or immature, that after the debate of going through life is what they have come out as a conclusion that that's how they want to live their life. And I think we should respect it more. You know, a lot of times we can get in relationships and people think, oh, I can change them. Oh, I'm sure they'll quit being like that eventually. You know, there's a reason why they are the way they are. They already went through the debate process. And in the debate process, they ended up with these certain traits and characteristics. Okay. So listen to your intuition about where you're at in the story and how you harness your Taurus energy, and listen to your intuition about some other people in your life. Because if you harness high vibe Taurus energy, where you're motivated and inspired by love and want people to act and be in relationships where people act with character and integrity and really walk the talk and have hope and faith and belief and love, you'd probably rather be in a relationship with someone like that. But some people are more kind of aligned with their more worldly nature. The things of the world is kind of more what drives and motivates them. And some people don't want to do love. You can get hurt doing love. That's not their philosophy of life. You know, I don't mind being in relationships, but love, not so much. Or just themselves or ego or money or indulgence is the driving factor in their life. And some people are shadowy. They try to present themselves like these pillars of society, but they're really fake, kind of superficial people. They're just trying to manipulate people, presenting this false persona in the world to try to get people to work together with them in the world, but they're really not who they say they are. So I look at this card as the overarching reason for the reading, which is the Nine of Cups. We're either independent from our more worldly egoic nature, and we're aligned with our more hopeful, believing nature and connected in with our emotions and our intuition. And we've learned these lessons to become more independent of those things that manipulate us, our own shadow nature, other people, the world. And some people, you know, and we're all at different stages of life, and we've become independent of different things in our life. You know, some things that manipulate us don't manipulate other people. You know, nobody's perfect. And then some people, though, could be more about indulging themselves or indulging in these things of the world. And the Nine of Cups has to do with our dreams, as Pisces energy. What do I dream of as being emotionally fulfilling? Some people, my dream is to be all about myself. I'm about myself. I want other people to be in a relationship and make it all about me. Some people, that's their dream life, and that's the kind of life they want to have. Other people, it's like, I want to indulge in these things of the world. I think those things will be what makes me happy. What about love? I get hurt doing love. I'm okay with a more shallow, superficial life. So long as I have these things of the world, I'm sure I'll be happy. Some people are very immature, and they indulge their more emotionally immature nature. So what's going on in Pisces energy? We have the Nine of Wands, the Queen of Swords, and the Seven of Cups. We all have things that we can be defensive to. I don't want to live my life like that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be perceived that way. You know, we all have these things that we're kind of defensive to, and we also have things that we defend. And that's the Queen of Swords, which the queens can talk about how we think and feel. And Aquarius energy can be about, you know, our dream, how we view life. Some people defend making life all about themselves. And if they're in a relationship, they want other people to defend them because they could think they're a shining star in the world and they're the center of the universe and everybody else should make them the center of the universe. And those are some people who live in fantasy land. And they might have a hard time finding people to be in a relationship with them because they are very much about themselves. Other people, it's just that their dream life is to be more caught up in the things of the world. I want to look like a shining star in the world. That's the most important thing. I want people maybe to look up and admire me. I want people to view me as being this certain kind of person. I want this certain status and image, or to date someone who looks like this or has that kind of power or influence or whatever, you know. Everybody's got their idea of the dream life. And if they're in relationships with people who seem to be on the same page as them, they're going to defend those people. The people in their life who have a different dream and view life differently, they're probably going to be defensive to those people. Sometimes we're in a relationship and it's a mismatched relationship and both people are being defensive to each other because we're not on the same page. And then there's some people who know their truth, but they're trying to emotionally confuse people about the truth. They don't want them to know the truth about how they view life, these illusions that they have about relationships, because they want those people to get in a relationship with them. And so it is just about creating this illusion. Oh no, I'm this just, fair, loving, stable, grounded, mature person. I'm not egotistical. I'm not materialistic. I'm not about myself, you know, but they are. Other people are telling the truth. Some people have already communicated their truth to some people. I'm going this way. Whatever way I lived life before and the lessons I learned from it, I'm done. Been there, done that. I have looked at life from a higher perspective. The nine of Wands is Sagittarius energy. In high vibe, it's like, I have learned some hard lessons in life. I have been wounded. Things did not work out the way I wanted. I found out some people have these different ideas about life. I'm not as naive and gullible as I was before. You know, if you're a loving, nurturing person, you get in relationships with people, you know, and you think everybody's motivated and inspired by love. Wouldn't everybody choose love? Not everybody does. No. Some of those people, the Seven of Cups, Scorpio energy. I'm not doing a deep, meaningful relationship. My truth is, I like to be more emotionally shallow and superficial because I'm afraid of being hurt. And we can get in those relationships and we find out, oh, you want to be in more deep, meaningful relationships? Yeah, I'm not going to do that. Well, then we got a problem in a relationship, right? We get in a relationship and we realize someone is more about themselves or someone is more about ego and image, not love. Well, then we got a problem in a relationship. Some people right now are experiencing this, and generally all of us at different times in our life, we could have people in our life where we kind of realize we're not on the same page. And there's these times in our life periodically where we have some people in our life that we're kind of, the Nine of Wands comes after the Eight of Wands, which Eight of Wands is moving forward and away from some people. Yeah, I'm keeping my distance from you. I know how you view life. I know how you are in a relationship. I know how you try to emotionally confuse people about the truth. And I'm keeping my distance from you. Other people could be tempted by some people who harness this energy in a high vibe way, but they know they don't want to do that. Oh, damn, you do look like a shining star in the world, and, in a lot of ways, and you're this loving, nurturing person, but you're like the danger zone. I could get hurt being in a relationship with you, and I'm going to keep my distance from you. So then we have the Hangman, the Lovers, the Magician, and the Nine of Cups. We can all feel stuck when we're kind of going through these conflicts with different people in our life. Some people we've already distanced ourselves from. And it can take time. The Hangman does talk about feeling stuck. And it's about trying to get us to look at life from different perspectives. And it's Pisces energy again, having hope and faith and belief in our dreams. Just because some relationships didn't work out the way we want doesn't mean... And if some people were defensive, if some people were cold, if some people were unkind, unjust, unfair, not everybody is. And we don't give up our dreams. We just realize who we need to have better boundaries with and who we need to distance ourselves from. And that's kind of what high vibe people realize. I'm not going to get stuck up in my ego about it. I deal with the truth. Everybody is where they're at in their maturity level. Some people are more open to giving and receiving love and are just and fair, supportive, encouraging people, and some people not so much. Life's about learning these lessons. Some people have learned some lessons that some other people haven't learned. And initially, when we could have gotten in relationships with people, we all could have gotten in relationships with people because a different relationship didn't work out, or a job didn't work out, or a friendship didn't work out. The Queen of Swords can talk about how, we feel betrayed. We turned our back on something else. And then we can get in relationships with other people who also, it's kind of trying to find people who are on the same page as we think we are at that point in time. But then, we have these lessons learned. Did we listen to our intuition when we got in this next relationship? Were we kind of believing everyone thought the same way we thought and felt? Kind of still living a little bit in fantasy land? Did we get in a relationship because we were wounded and we felt stuck? Wanted to be in a relationship? Wanted to manifest the things we wanted to manifest? And then sometimes those relationships end up in regret. It can kind of get us. The devil can talk about being in our ego. Why didn't those people want to work with me? Why didn't that relationship work out? Well, we've all been there. High vibe people try to look at life from a higher perspective and do this work within themselves to work through the emotional confusion of it. How did I contribute to that relationship not working out? Was I looking at life from a higher perspective? Have I learned to love myself? Have I freed myself from some of the things that manipulate me? Am I open to giving and receiving love? Or because relationships in my past didn't work out, I have some fear of love? Did that affect how I acted in this relationship, in past relationships? High vibe people, the truth sets us free so we can free ourselves from it. So they look at life from a higher perspective. They work through the emotional confusion. They stand up for themselves and what they believe in and their dreams. If I'm in a relationship with people who I think are defensive, might be emotionally cold or detached, have these illusions about what it means to be in a relationship, they could think that maybe the scales of justice should be tipped in their favor all the time. Might be prideful, might be stubborn, might love to be in relationships, but is it kind of more to indulge themselves in a relationship? and it never really kind of grows and matures itself, you know? As long as it stays, you keep letting them be defensive to love, just kind of indulge in a relationship, the relationship goes great. But it's like, you know, I wanted to be in a relationship where a dream could come into reality. Are you willing to bring a dream into reality where we work through our regrets of the past and our fears and our insecurities and our egoic, selfish nature to work cooperatively, authentically, in that hopeful, believing spirit to bring a dream into reality? And some of the people in our life, you know, we come in contact with all these different people. Sometimes we can be in a relationship with people for a long time, and, you know, we can get along in a lot of ways, and we can do healing and growing and maturing together. But then we could get down to this final truth. Are you willing to let your more authentic, vulnerable, hopeful, believing nature out to play in the world so that we can really work together like that, trusting each other, being authentic with each other? Because that is like the dream relationship. And that can be where people are like, I'm a little bit more about myself and protecting myself from being hurt. I want to maybe stay in the relationship, but I'm still a little bit more about me and defensive to that dream. But I might still want to stay in the relationship and indulge in the relationship with you. And some people might be like, I kind of feel like I'm going to miss an opportunity in love. Because if you are more about you and being defensive to being hurt, and more about just you in general in the relationship, then I'm not going to be working together with someone who's willing to work cooperatively with me from love. And I might have to be strong within myself to let you know that you have a different idea of what you wanted to manifest than what I wanted to manifest. And I want to do love. And if you don't want to do love, then I'm going to have to temper my pride and my ego and my fears and my insecurities to protect my more authentic, loving nature. Because if I'm going to temper and have like good discipline within myself, that's like high vibe Leo energy. If I'm going to temper my fears and insecurities and my more egoic, defensive nature to be authentic and vulnerable and loving with you, I want to be in a relationship with someone who does the same thing. And if you're defensive to that dream and your ego nature, harnessing your Leo energy in a shadowy way, stops you from being willing to do that, then we are on two different pages, and I will become independent of you. And I will go on a journey to try to find the people who do want to do love. And come together with me in a relationship, in joy and celebration, having hope and faith and belief and love. So, there could be some people who feel stuck because someone who they might think is more on the same page as them maybe isn't willing to be in a relationship with them. Well, what do you do then? I love that person. I think that person's my dream come true. But they're defensive to me. You know, and that's hurtful. Well, we can keep staying stuck. And the whole thing is, we can love people and not be in a relationship with them. We can love other people who don't want to be in a relationship with us. We've all been there, right? Just like finding a friend, finding someone you like to date. We know all these people. Not everybody do we want to go hang out with more to get to know them more. You know, I like you at work. Yeah, no, I don't really want to go hang out with you this weekend. I really don't think. You might think we could get along, or I'm already got whatever I got going on, or I just don't really see it. You know, it has to be mutual on both sides. Some people love love. Some people might be really just take it personally, like, why doesn't that person want to be my friend? Why doesn't that person want to date me? And it can be people who, you know, kind of like, I look like my dreams are going to come into reality. I might look like a shining star in the world. I might have these certain traits or qualities or characteristics or whatever. You know, I look like my dreams are going to come into reality. I don't understand why people don't want to offer me love. I am single. Well, is it more about the ego? Or is it love? Is it, well, I want someone to love me. It's like, well, do you love other people? You know, we kind of got to get out of that more immature, kind of egoic view of life. And some people are still looking to other people to love them or validate their worth and value. And I don't understand. They could view certain people as being victorious or successful in some way. Why don't you view me that way? And so I think it's harder for the people that are a little bit more in shadowy energy. I want to be in this clique or group. Well, why is it so important to be in that clique or group? Well, because I kind of look up to and admire them. I value the things that they have, or the status or the image or the power, or how I think other people view them. And really, some people's judgment is very clouded. They might think, oh my gosh, like if this person, I view this person this way, and oh my gosh, if they were in a relationship with me, like, I would think people would view me a certain way, and other people are like, are you nuts? You know, they don't even understand why that person could view those people that way, you know? Other people could think they're, I'm just trying to think of a word that isn't male or female, but full of themselves or something, you know? Kind of like, other people are like, why are you chasing after that person? So we have some people who are sad. And again, for some people that they're more about the world, certain people might have a certain status or image. They want that certain status or image, regardless if those people are high vibe or low vibe. They want those things of the world. They want, like, someone who has these things of the world that they want. Like, oh, I think you seem to be maybe really outgoing and loving and nurturing and have this social dynamic, and I want that, so I would like you to date me. Well, is that meaning you want to date them because you love them? Or because in your ego you think that would make you happy? And you love what they're manifesting, and I want to indulge in that too. Well, that's different than wanting to hang out and be a friend. You know, but there too, do you even like them? Or is it, well, no, but I like what you've created, or I like your life, or I like these things. I want to indulge in those things. Like, well, that's different than love. You kind of seem to confuse, you want some of the things that people could have in their life with thinking maybe that you love them. Some people have some past pain and heartbreak that they haven't dealt with. It still really manipulates them. And I think that if we have some deep-seated wounds in a way, and they don't have to be that big, but they're just kind of deep-seated where, you know, maybe I felt like when I was growing up, maybe someone in my life, like a parent figure or something like that, maybe I thought they were a little distant. Queen of Swords can be a little cool, maybe. Maybe, maybe I viewed them like a shining star. Maybe they were victorious and successful, but maybe they didn't really provide me the nurturing or loving like I wish they would have done. Maybe they were kind of caught up in, that we needed to have a certain status or image or something, and it was more about how we presented ourselves in the world than really having more of a deep, meaningful relationship with us or something. The example could be that, and then I think if we it kind of affects maybe how we view ourselves, and because we could have felt like rejected, like people who I thought would love me and have a more deep, meaningful relationship with, who would try to see things more from my perspective and be more loving and have a more like emotionally fulfilling relationship of my dreams with me. And that didn't happen, and we were disappointed. I think we have a lot of lessons to learn in life about those things, and I think we will be drawn and attracted towards people who subconsciously kind of remind us of those people, because it is kind of us in our ego. I wanted that to work. I wanted that person to love me. I wanted them to choose me versus being more about themselves or more about the world or whatever addiction they had, or, whatever it was. I wanted them to love me. And it affects me that they didn't. And so then I think we can be drawn and attracted to people who kind of remind us of those people, to get those people to love us. And we're kind of not seeing people clearly. And I don't think we're doing it at a conscious level. God knows what wounding we have. And Pisces energy can talk about these things buried in our subconscious that we don't even really realize drives some of the decisions we make in our life. And you might know some people because you kind of went through it maybe yourself, where at one point in time in a relationship, you're like, ding, 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 ding. Oh my God, I cannot believe you remind me of so-and-so. And I never realized that till just now. It's like, oh my God, I never thought that I would get in a relationship with someone who reminds me of so-and-so, and really, in a lot of ways, you are like them. They could be different sexes, but they have certain traits and characteristics about them. And trying to get someone who has certain traits and characteristics to be more of a loving, nurturing person to you. And in a lot of ways, they could have been, and it could have helped you heal some wounds. But there can be differences about the type of people we are, because if we really were kind of more on the same page, we'd both be on the same page, right? And so then, ultimately, sometimes the relationship won't work, and they also subconsciously might be drawn to you for their own reasons. I think we're attracted and drawn to certain people because we have lessons learned from them. But ultimately, there might be some differences that we can't bridge the gap between, even though we could have done a lot of healing with each other in that relationship. And it could kind of get down to, when we were in that relationship, did we do this work within ourselves, each of us, to work through some of those issues within ourselves? Because whenever we get in relationships with people, or we go take a new job, or, we go to the next grade of life, basically, we could have successfully completed one phase of life, like living life like an 18-year-old, but now we're going to go to age 21. Well, that's kind of a different ball game. And when we go to that next phase of life, there's new fears and insecurities that bubble up, And then we have to deal with those issues that come up. And sometimes we can get in relationships with people, and we both could provide a lot of support and encouragement and healing to each other. But then there can get to a point where someone is happy staying right here. If I were to go to that next level, that could be a an issue that I need to deal with, which is maybe a bigger issue for me to unravel than it maybe was for you to unravel, or my issue that I need to deal with at that next phase of life is different than what yours is. And, I mean, sometimes it can take, years to work through an issue that we have within ourselves. But it could be with the Five of Cups and the Devil card here, and the Two of Cups, the 5 to the 2. This being like the Three of Cups. Do I operate from a foundation of love? And is that what guides the decisions I make? Or do I operate emotionally from a foundation more of fear or insecurity or defensiveness, or more about myself, or more about the world, or ego and image, or whatever? And then, it can be that core foundational issue in our dualistic nature of our free will choice of what foundation we operate from that can be the breaking point in a relationship. Even though we could have been in relationships with people and worked through a lot of issues and been in relationships with people for a long time, the next phase is the fact that we do kind of some people work through those issues, more of those issues from the past, to be free of those things that manipulate them, to be more open to giving and receiving love. And some people still have some issues to deal with that, they're not ready to deal with, don't want to deal with. Could be a little bit more about themselves. And they might kind of indulge themselves a little bit more in their ego nature. And they kind of think other people should indulge them in their ego nature, which can be a lot of things. I'm immature, I'm defensive, I'm kind of egotistical or self-centered. I kind of think everybody else should put aside their pride and ego in this relationship, but maybe never me. It can be a pride and ego thing. And whether they're male or female, depending on how people grow up in life and how things operated in their family. Some women think I should kind of be the privileged, indulged person, and I should be able to be bossy or controlling or whatever, and you're supposed to indulge me. And some men could think that they're the ones who should kind of be more indulged, and then it can get to be where, or maybe they're more about the world and ego and image or being indulged, and everybody can want to become single eventually. It's like, I realize, the devil really challenges us to work through some issues. And are we willing to put in the work and effort to work through those issues, or would we rather just become single and go find someone else to be in a relationship with? I have my idea of the dream life. You have your ideas of the dream life. We'll go live our life differently. But some people do feel stuck because someone they would like to manifest a relationship with is not willing to be in a relationship with them. And we have to work through this issue that whether that's my adult child, whether that's my sibling, my parent, a coworker, a romantic interest, I'm not going to stay in my ego about it. I'm going to be inspired to look and work through this and realize my dreams aren't codependent on a certain person being in my life. I just need to temper my ego and my fears and love myself and appreciate what I bring to the table and realize that God knows where everybody's at in their life. God knows what we really want, to the lessons that we need to learn. And sometimes some people who we might know, or some people we meet, some people we have known, they're not the right person for us to learn the lessons. They have certain lessons they need to learn. They're drawn and attracted to live their life a certain way and be in relationships with certain people because they're on their own journey and we're not on the same path right now, and we may never be. Maybe we will at some future date. And we need to look at life as an adventure. I wish you peace. You're off learning your lessons, and my foundation is inspired to go on my journey to see what God has in store for me, because I have my own lessons to learn. Maybe I learned everything I was supposed to learn from you. Maybe. But we can keep ourselves stuck there, focused on the past, because we have fear. We'd rather stay with the devil we know than go deal with the devil we don't know. Everybody does challenge us. Everybody does have their own little things that, we kind of got to work with. And that's why we all like to stay in our comfort zone. And we'd rather deal with people that we already know than go find someone else. But that can be because more out of fear and not wanting to step out of our comfort zone. And it's kind of like, nope, if they're not willing to work with me, I wish them peace and love. Okay, I spoke my truth. This is how I want to move forward with. If they're, I don't know if they're in their own loving relationship or they're in a toxic relationship. But if they're not, before I move forward in my new life, I could have communicated with someone who I view as someone that I think might be on the same page as me. I've been giving them time to think kind of about, are you on the same page as me? Do you have your own fears and insecurities? If I've known you before and I've been in a relationship with you before and maybe things didn't work out, but we've all learned lessons in life. We've all healed and grown in different ways. Maybe we were more immature back then. Maybe we were kids. All I can do is speak my truth about the lessons that I've learned in life. I don't think high vibe people aren't operating from their ego nature. I don't have a problem telling people the mistakes I made. I learned valuable lessons from it. And now I do look at life differently. And maybe I hadn't learned to love myself before. Maybe I pushed away people who were trying to work with me in love because I had learned to love myself. Now I have. Are we on the same page now or are we not? And it can put a lot of fear in some people to get back in a relationship. And same way with you as you're moving forward, you could have some people in your life who want to come back in your life. And it's much easier to extend grace to someone who's just, a family member or a friend. Because you wouldn't be putting your, getting in a more intimate romantic relationship with them. But someone, and some people are kind of have that hopeful, being authentic too. And there could be where you were in that hopeful believing nature with each other at one time. But some of those people, like I say, just like you could have some people approaching you from your past. You could be approaching people that you feel have moved ahead of you and are on the same page as you. Some people might say, I'm glad that you freed yourself from some things that manipulated you, but I don't think I want to get back in a relationship with you, or I've already gotten in a relationship with someone else. Some other people you know what? I'm going to have some hope and faith and belief, and because I am single, I am going to communicate with you that I am willing to get back in a relationship with you. You know, it just depends on what people are doing in their life. But I think if people are being truthful and honest and not having ulterior purposes and not out of pride and ego or status or image or things like that, I think there's a better likelihood. Some other people who might operate more from pride and ego, haven't healed, might wanting to be in a relationship just to make someone else mad, might want to get in a relationship more for the status or the image or the money. Some other people are like, I don't think you're being truthful. I could have been in a relationship with before. And, you know, I think you still have some issues to work through that you haven't worked through. So yeah, I'm going to be defensive to you. Because I don't think you're being honest. I might think that you operate more from ego, that you really don't do love. I think you want to be in a relationship because something else didn't work out. You might know I love you, but maybe you're kind of immature, and I don't want to be with someone who's kind of more immature and wants to be a player. And if I've already gotten a different relationship that I can be in, you know, with someone who's more enlightened and loving and independent of some of those issues, some of the people that some of the other people want to be in a relationship with are like, I've already moved on. You know, other people who are kind of shadowy or prideful or manipulative can have a hard time getting other people to want to be willing to get back in a relationship with them. Because other people already saw the truth of who they were. And even though they might love them, even though they could have wished a dream would have come in true with them, they already saw that they're unwilling to budge. Have these kind of stubborn ways or whatever way of being. And there's a lot of reasons I might want to stay in it, or some people might want to stay in it. You know, we can all be tempted. We can be really attracted to people, or they might have, you know, these things of the world. But some people are trying to revive that type of relationship because they are still in their ego and they want those things. They might not even love that person. They just don't like the relationships with the people they're in. If there's someone who doesn't like to do love and they got themselves in another relationship after this one didn't work out, that where somebody wants to do love, it's like, damn, I don't want to do love. I want to be in a relationship with someone who's more about these things. But the person that would be the person that has those things that they want maybe won't be in a relationship with them. So they either might stay in a mismatched relationship, just try to manipulate the person they're in a relationship with. Oh yeah, I view life like you do, but they don't. You know, the devil's going to be trapped in a loving relationship that they don't want to be in. Or with a loving person. Damn, this is not my dream. Damn, I'm more about ego and image and people indulging me. I like to be with more maybe fearful, insecure, defensive people. Can't find anybody who seems to be like that around. Or damn, I want to be in a relationship with someone who's got more money and status and image, but I can't find any of those people to get in a relationship with. And then for other people who are kind of shadowy too, someone who has those things of the world with them won't be in a relationship with them. And maybe they're trying to manipulate, you know, because even shadowy people want to be in relationships with loving people to a degree because they're loving and warm and encouraging and supportive instead of being in a relationship with someone who's like themselves. Well, I like to be kind of the privileged person in the relationship. You kind of like to be the privileged person in a relationship. One of us has to concede to the other. And maybe when one of them was in a relationship, the one wanted to be conceded to, and the other one wasn't willing to do it. And then they could both actually even want to be in a relationship with each other. But that's kind of what a relationship not based on love can be. Well, who has more of what? Well, do you value what I bring to the table more? Well, then I kind of get to be the person who gets to manipulate you in the relationship. It's more about me. But the other person could be used to being in relationships where people kind of indulge them. Wait. I'm kind of in my ego about that because I'm kind of used to being the one who's indulged in a relationship. Well, then I think we have a problem, don't we? Because we both want to be indulged. And until one of them budges, and for some of them, someone might. They might say, okay, damn, I will temper my ego. I want those things. So I will be the one who is manipulated because you have more of the things of the world that I want. And I want it more than you want what I have. So I will indulge you in a relationship. And some of those people, and if they're in another relationship right now, someone's going to be mad because this person created an illusion that they wanted to manifest a dream into reality. And this person's like, well, I really don't do love anyway. It is kind of more about me and my pride and my ego and being indulged or money or materialism. And someone else, I'm willing to go indulge them in order to have those things. Bye. So many stories in here. Okay. And some people are defending a relationship. They're not interested in their options. They're in relationships and appreciate the fact that they're in relationships with people who do try to see things from their perspective. They're loving, they're creative, they're inspired, they're just, they're fair, they're balanced. And we have to give up our options. Yeah, there's other people. I could be defensive to these people if I wanted. I could go chase after my options. But why would I do that? I would hurt some people that are loving, that want to work together with me, but because of my more selfish, greedy, prideful, egotistical reasons, I'm more about me. And some of those people will be tempted, be defensive to the loving people in their life. The loving people will be confused. And that's when they realize this person's a little bit more about themselves. Or a lot. All about their lust and their greed and their pride and their ego. For some people, enough is never enough. And that's when we see the truth, that when we kind of see through the illusion that maybe they're not who we thought they were. And other people are like, no, I am going to defend this relationship. I could have liked to have gotten in a relationship, was tempted, but that's going to have to be a missed opportunity because I love the people I'm with, and I'm going to defend this relationship, and I'm going to temper my ego, and I'm going to offer love to my more worldly nature that is tempted, and I'm going to take this inspired action in love in the relationship that I'm currently in to keep focused on the loving people in my life instead of being tempted to sabotage it and let the devil come between me and someone I love. So, let's see what's coming up for some people who harness some high vibe Taurus energy. Card not showing itself. Ooh. Interesting. What's coming up for some people who harness some high vibe Taurus energy that you might not see coming? It could be something that you and other people don't see coming with these cards not showing themselves. Let's go see what they are. The Devil And the Nine of Swords, well, the way I would interpret that is, for one thing, as you go through this process within yourself to heal from past pain and heartbreak, working with the people in your life, possibly manifesting a new relationship with someone, you're rejecting the devil and people who tried to have you up in your head about love and believing in yourself and believing in your dreams. And as you're going through this process within yourself, you maybe can't imagine that. That you would be able to get over this pain and heartbreak and being up in your head about it. But you're being inspired to keep seeing through the illusion of how some people aren't who you thought they were. And some people are more about themselves. Some people are more immature. Some people are defensive to love. Some people are stubborn and prideful and manipulative and have these unresolved issues. And it can make them act very immature, and we look at it and it's like, these people have a lot of lessons to learn in life, and they're going to be very painful. And love is what helps us heal. I accept and see through the illusion. These people are not people who have good boundaries within themselves or look at life from a higher perspective or keep life in perspective. And I think they're going to go learn some lessons the hard way, just like I did. And in the energy of love, the pages can talk about, I'm not in my anger anymore. I've kind of come to peace with the situation. I believe in my dreams. I've tempered my ego. I've offered myself the things I wish other people would have offered me. I know my worth and value. I've offered love to myself to become independent of these people. I wish them peace. They're going to go on a journey. They have some shadowy Sagittarius as people who are kind of immature players, and they got some lessons to learn. You go do you, boo. I'm going to move forward in an energy of love to go work with people in the world who come together with me in joy and celebration, who have worked through these type of same issues as me, and the devil no longer has me up in my head. Sometimes we have people in the world, we are in relationships, it looks like our dreams are coming into reality. We have people that we're working with in the world, and then the devil comes into our life because it kind of knows in a way that, and God knows that some of the people in our life have these unresolved issues they haven't dealt with. And then God will use other people to tempt them to go act in these ways. And if we listen to our intuition, this person isn't acting in a just and fair and loving way. For some reason, they have not learned some lessons you've learned to temper their ego and offer love to the situation. Are you going to stay in it and feel betrayed and stay in an illusion with this person, feeling stuck with someone who you're creating an illusion with because it's no longer what it was, because these issues within them bubbled up and they took this had an unhealthy response to these issues that bubbled up within them? Are you going to stay in it when someone has shown you they're not willing to do equal give and take in love? Or are you going to stand up for yourself, believe in yourself, and though you're sad, because you wanted a dream to come into reality with them, But you can't make them temper their fears and their insecurity and their pride or their ego and these things that they need to deal with. If they're not willing to deal with it, then this will have to be a missed opportunity. And I'm going to become independent of them. I'm going to offer them peace and love, in between being angry and mad. But love is what's going to help me heal this. And I'm going to move on. Some of the people, it could be them. It could be God used other people who are kind of prideful, egotistical, didn't like that you were in a loving relationship. Some of those people can be people in their family, friends, other people, other romantic interest that they defend. I don't like those people. Let those people go. You should align with me instead of those loving people in your life. Those people are encouraging you to love and believe in yourself. Soon you're going to be free of some of the things that manipulate you, that manipulate me. I don't like that. Let those people go. Defend me. And sometimes some of those people wanted you to be sad and like bitter and angry and feeling betrayed and wanted you not to get your dream. And you're like, you know what? If you could kind of take that away from me, then it wasn't on the same page as me anyway. Eventually, it kind of gets to where when you look at it, it's like, thank you. Because until you came along or tried to manipulate and instill fear or insecurity or defensiveness or get people up in their ego or their lust or their greed, I wasn't seeing that about this person. And then it's kind of like looking at the third parties as like a physical manifestation in a human being of something that was hidden within the person you were in a relationship with that you weren't seeing. And because you weren't seeing it, kind of caught up in the illusion of who you thought someone was, and God knew you didn't see it, we're going to have someone come in to their life, someone who might currently be in their life, who's going to try to get them to quit defending you and defend them instead and align with them instead. We need to find out if this person is on the same page as you or not. Because we think they're not. And then it proves itself true that they're not. And it was really all to set you free because you were in a relationship with someone who wasn't on the same page as you. And you didn't let shadowy people who are unkind, unjust, jealous, envious, prideful, egotistical, manipulative, or whatever, they could try to throw you under the bus and kick you to the curb, and you picked yourself up. Love helped you heal. Some of those people, that's not how they operate in life. This could have totally, if that happened in their life, they could have been completely devastated because there's so much in their ego. But you're not. You look at life from a higher perspective. Did it get you in your ego initially? Probably. Got you in your competitive energy, made you angry. But then you looked at life from a higher perspective. I don't want to be in those kind of energies. I like to be in the energy of love. I'm going to love and believe in myself, and I'm going to do all this work to free myself from this. The devil might have manipulated them. That person's going to have to deal with the consequences of their actions. And I'm not going to let the devil let me run my life off into the ditch. I'm going to temper my ego, not run my life off into the ditch. And I'm going to love and believe in myself and go on a new adventure in life. Thank you for showing me the truth of some of the people I was in a relationship with, because I wasn't seeing it. They had me fooled. What's coming up for some of the people who harness some worldly or shadowy Taurus energy that they might not see coming up? Oh, and another thing, some of the people that you communicate with in the world who are also going to get out of their fear and their insecurities and their fear of being hurt, and they're going to align with love. And the devil is going to be sad that other people aligned with their more hopeful, believing, creative, inspired, loving nature. And that could be why, the big picture is kind of like the devil and God battling it out. We have free will, how we choose to act in the world, what kind of emotions and thoughts we choose to sit in every day. The devil knew you were trying to give birth to basically free someone from the devil's clutches. And the devil used all these different people in some of these people's lives to try to get them to not free themselves. And some of those people didn't. Some of those people did. And the people who didn't are going to have to repeat a cycle because they didn't pass the test. Some other people, because you're being loving and encouraging and truthful and honest with people, some other people will free themselves from things that manipulate them. It's just the big battle going on in the world. Energetically. What's that Bible verse? We don't fight powers or principalities. I can't remember it. Anyway, what's coming up for the people that are in shadowy energy? We have that they don't see coming, the Strength card, and the Seven of Cups. These two cards that aren't showing themselves. And the reason it came out is because of the Seven of Swords. People can indulge people in poor behavior for a long time in a relationship, but eventually people do this work within themselves in a relationship, and eventually people temper their ego and their fears and their insecurities. They see through the illusion and the deception and the manipulation, like, you're not being loving. Loving people don't act like that. If you're motivated to be just and fair, you would be, but you're not. If you were someone of character and integrity, you wouldn't be acting the way you do. So all these things that I used to think about you, and I could have looked up to you and admired you, but you're not who I thought you were. You don't look at life from a higher perspective. You're not, Taurus energy. People can present themselves like they're this pillar of society, that they really walk the talk. And you see through the illusion of some people. And then with these cards no longer showing themselves, you're no longer juggling, going back and forth about if someone is a just and fair and loving person. You've seen the truth. You're no longer in illusion about them. Some of you could have dealt with some people. This is Capricorn energy. This is Libra Taurus energy. People who you thought were free of their more shadowy nature, who you thought were just and fair and people who walk the talk, and you are no longer going back and forth about the truth of who they are. You know the truth of who they are. They're deceptive, more worldly focused people, more about themselves or their immature nature or whatever. And they, just like you did that, other people are doing that right now. And these people in their life are like, what? You're not in your ego? You're not mad and angry and jealous and hurt? You freed yourself? Yeah, they didn't see that coming. Now they're probably in their ego about the fact that you're no longer emotionally confused about the truth of who they are, and that you love and believe in yourself, and you have these options in the world of people to go invest in because they couldn't make you become a hurt, petty, envious, jealous, vengeful, immature person like them. And because you're shining bright in the world in high vibe Leo energy, you look like a shining star in the world. And they know that other people are going to want to be in a relationship with you because you're not like them. And now they're in their ego about it. Another thing they might not see coming, there's other people who are going to want to be in a relationship with them. Other people who have lessons to learn in life just like you did. And if they get in a relationship with another loving person, the same scenario is going to play out right now. Right now, they could be trying to manipulate someone to stay in a relationship. Right now, someone they're in a relationship with could be listening to their intuition. It's like, I don't know. My intuition is kind of telling me I should be defensive to this person. They might say, until you tell me the truth about what happened in that past relationship, I might not move forward with you. And if their intuition tells them this person isn't telling them the truth about why that other relationship didn't work out, this person be like, sorry, my intuition is telling me you're not telling me the truth. I think you're defensive to love. I think you might have let go of that other relationship because you're kind of prideful or egotistical or immature or self-centered. You might have went and gotten a different relationship for money and materialism or to go indulge yourself. I don't think you're telling me the truth. You know, that's also, some people think, oh, I'm so smart, I can just manipulate people. Well, you know, sometimes people can tell when people aren't telling the truth. You know, and they just listen to their intuition. And the more older people get, and the more life experience they have, it's harder to bamboozle people because people have already been bamboozled by other people. It's like, I don't think you're telling me the truth. But they also might have someone who is willing, doesn't know the truth of who they are, might feel stuck, wants to be in a relationship, hasn't learned to love and believe in themselves, and this person will indulge in another relationship illusion with someone else, being deceptive and manipulative until this person heals within themselves, and then they'll leave, probably. So, there you go, Scorpio energy. I wish you peace. Oh, no, Scorpio. I wonder... Well, the Seven of Cups is Scorpio. But, there you go. Well, let's see. Scorpio... the opposite sign of Taurus is Scorpio. You know, and we want to get balance between our Scorpio and Taurus energy to realize that I might want these things of the world, but I also want deep, meaningful relationships. And some people are more consumed with ego and image or indulgence, and they got some hard lessons to learn about connecting in with their more Scorpio energy. And other people are more balanced. And so other people want those things of the world, but they're also listening to their intuition. So there you go, Taurus energy. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.